감사합니다. Hello. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. I see you're wearing the gorgeous purple cover there this evening. What do you say? Does she look beautiful tonight?
Thank you. 감사합니다. It's not real fur.
No. It's fake fur.
It's my design, for people to look beautiful without having to harm the animals.
We love it. And the emblem on your dress tonight is go green. Be veg.
I have something better. Inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be veg, go green. Save the planet. Yeah, thank you. We don't have to wear fur. We don't have to hurt the animals to look beautiful. Yes. We are beautiful already because we are from the divine in any way. Nice to meet you. 반갑습니다.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, today we are discussing about children's health and a sustainable planet. We have representatives of many NGOs who are organizing this conference, as well as politicians, teachers, students, and religious leaders who are here with us. Before we begin the question and answer session, would you please share with us your message about climate change and children?
Gladly. First of all, I wish to say 안녕하세요. Jeju, beautiful island, beautiful people of Jeju. Best wishes to you. God bless you. I have been very impressed and inspired by all these great speeches from all the great people the world over that you have taken the effort to invite them to your meaningful great conference in Jeju. I was so impressed by their speech, by their sincerity, and by their and your dedication to this urgent and noble cause on our planetary crucial time. I thank you all, and warm greetings to the Honorable Governor, the distinguished leaders, media members, guest speakers, concerned teachers, students, and the children and other audience members. Thank you for your precious time and concern in coming to this important event today. It's like a whole village of small world has gathered here together to talk about two of the most cherished gifts ever. That is our precious children and treasured planet Earth. I had heard that Jeju Island is like a paradise. I've been invited many times. Regretfully, I have not been there. And as I was sitting here listening to all the speeches, I had such a strong desire to go to visit Jeju as a tourist. And I was asking my assistant here how long it takes to go to Jeju, how warm is it right now over there, etc. We have just been exchanging notes. And I'm sure if I go there today or another day, I would absolutely enjoy the company of your people. And the fresh air and the unique landscape and the tall mountain and sparkling sea that you island possess. And the warm people of Korea that I had many times the honor to experience. I love Korea. I love Korean people. I truly do. such a place as Jeju Island, and indeed the entire globe, we must do our best to save, for our own sake and the future of the children. We already have the wisdom and heaven's grace to overcome these challenges. We may just need to remind ourselves of the best steps to take. I wish everyone participating today a lot of inspiration and a lot of courage to change through meaningful experience in this direction. 감사합니다. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you for your insightful speech, Supreme Master Ching Hai. That was beautiful. We will now start our question and answer session. We are honored to have Supreme Master Ching Hai participate in this session. This will be a very interesting and informative time for all of us and all the viewers around the world watching through 14 satellite platforms and IPTV and internet.
Representatives from Jeju Province have prepared some questions about climate change and children, which will be answered either by Supreme Master Ching Hai, our guest panelists, or other world-renowned experts.
Let's begin with the first question. This question is for Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Our first question is from Jung Hyun-gyu. Jung Hyun-gyu is a very courageous and intelligent student of Jeju. He is a first-year student of Seogwipo High School and also a Korean Youth Climate Change Ambassador.
Wow.
저는 2년 전 여름 한국 청소년 기후대사의 자격으로 노르웨이령 니알슨 북극 과학기지촌에 머물며 북극에서 일어나는 급속한 기후변화를 직접 체험할 수 있었습니다. 북극 땅에 발을 디뎠을 때 처음 느낀 것은 생각보다 춥지 않다는 것이었습니다. 북극의 생태가 변하고 있다는 것이 두려웠습니다. 그 상황에서 제가 살고 있는 이곳 제주가 떠올랐습니다. 형태는 달라도 온도가 오르면서 식생이 변하여 삶이 달라질 것이라는 생각에 심각하게 받아들일 수밖에 없었습니다. 보트를 타고 나간 바다에는 빙벽에서 떨어져 나간 수많은 유빙들이 바다 위를 떠다니고 있었고 빙하가 녹아서 생긴 빈틈을 통해 흙과 녹은 물과 함께 흘러나와 바다가 푸른빛이 아닌 붉은빛을 띠고 있는 경우도 있었습니다. 1년 전 여름에 분명히 있었던 빙벽 역시 100m 이상 녹은 채로 후퇴한 상태였습니다. 이런 경험을 하는 동안 전 또 다른 충격적인 소식을 들었습니다. 당시 같이 갔던 방글라데시 학생이 출국한 지 2, 3일 뒤 그곳에 사상 유례없는 폭우로 인하여 홍수가 크게 나고 인명피해가 났다는 뉴스 보도를 접했습니다. 이 역시 지구온난화의 결과라고밖에 설명할 수 없다고 생각했었습니다. 부디 천혜의 자연환경을 가진 북극, 그리고 이 아름다운 제주도를 포함한 전 세계 지구촌의 생태환경이 보존되도록 도와주세요. 이대로 이 세상이 끝나버린다면 저희들은 너무나 억울합니다. 저희들이 성장하고 미래의 꿈을 펼쳐나갈 수 있도록 너무 늦기 전에 제발 도와주세요. 여기 계신 모든 어른들 그리고 이 방송을 보시는 모든 분들께 어린이를 대표하여 이 세상을 살만한 곳으로 남을 수 있도록 도와주실 것을 호소합니다. 저희 청소년들은 학교의 교과과정을 따라가느라 별로 시간이 없습니다. 그렇지만 상황이 긴박해서 저희도 무언가를 해야 한다고 책임감을 느끼고 있습니다. 우리 청소년들이 지구를 위해 무슨 일을 어떻게 해야만 할지 칭하이 스승님께 조언을 부탁드립니다.
안녕하세요. Thank you. How are you? First of all, I'm very impressed by your concern as a youth climate ambassador of your country and of your concerning heart for our shared planet. You are such a good-looking, smart, and full of energy boy who helps the world. Even though you are so busy with your schoolwork, I only wish there are more people like you who realize that the planet's situation is more urgent than anything else right now. Any good idea from me for youth? Yes, you have heard many good ideas from our great panelists, our great speakers before me. Yes, and please just put them into action. You can copy these ideas from those experts, from the scientists, from the elderly, and then distribute them to your peers, your friends at school or around you. We have other things for you. As you saw for yourself how quickly the North Pole is melting, it's at least twice as fast as the rest of the globe. As I'm sure you already know, they call the Arctic ice the refrigerator of the planet, and without it, there will be more droughts and floods in other, even faraway parts of the world. The news reported that just this month in September, UN Secretary General Mr. Ban Ki-moon, your countryman, he had visited the Arctic region himself in Norway because he is concerned. Surely he also saw the thin and crumbling icebergs, felt the milder air, and maybe even noticed there are fewer wild animals than there should be. Mr. Ban also visited the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. It's like a Noah's Ark where they are storing all the seeds from all the food crops from around the world. Because the climate change is so serious that the governments and scientists know there might not be enough basic food even. So they store them there in case for emergency use. And according to the news as well, after his visit, the UN Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, then urged world leaders to take action immediately to save the planet. We don't have to be a world leader to take immediate and very helpful, very powerful action. All you have to do is become a vegan and encourage others to be vegan as well. The world's leading climate scientists told us in television interviews that being vegetarian, meaning no animal product, is the single most effective thing an individual can do to stop global warming. Because to raise cows and pigs and other animals takes up a lot of fossil fuel energy. To feed them, to transport them, to grow food for them, and we also have to cut down a lot of rainforest, which is very detrimental to our stabilization of the planet. And the animals and their waste also produce very potent greenhouse gases like methane and nitrous oxide, even other toxic gases. Methane is up to 100 times more potent than carbon dioxide, and nitrous oxide is 300 times more potent than carbon dioxide. And I will share with you a very important, very new scientific finding that just a few people in the world know so far. But it is about to be made public, I think in October. That is, respected scientists recalculated and found that the meat industry is actually producing more than 50% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Meat is the number one cause of global warming. So the number one solution is to stop producing it. Logical, yes? So we all have to be vegan. That is what the science is clearly telling us right now. Even though the government leaders or the media have not fully caught up with it yet, we can already begin to do it, to take action, to stop the number one cause of global warming by simply being vegan. Finally, I would like to share with you one more thing about the vegan solution to climate change. That is, from my own insight, I know that if the world's people become vegan, more beneficial results will happen, besides just halting the global warming. One of the results is that the ice in the Arctic will be restored, and quickly, along with the repairing of nature in every corner of the planet, including your home, the green Jeju Island. Isn't that wonderful? This is the truth that I could promise you, but we all must act fast, like yesterday. My suggestion is very easy to do in your busy and productive life. That is, vegetarianism or veganism. Veganism means no animal products in our lifestyle whatsoever. It's a complete, benevolent, compassionate, humane lifestyle. And it is the single most effective thing an individual can do. That is what NASA's climate scientist, Dr. James Hansen said, and others as well. Thank you. Thank you for asking this important question. Yeah, I hope all the youth in Korea and in the world will take this vital action. All the best wishes to you and your generation's bright future.
Thank you, Supreme Master Ching Hai, for your answer, reminding us that children can help save our planet through their noble actions. Next question is also for Supreme Master Ching Hai. The question comes from Ms. O. Ogman. She is a member of the Jeju Provincial Assembly and Secretary of the Self-Administration Committee.
Hello, Ms. O.
제주 특별자치도는 기후변화 시범도로서 기후변화에 대응하기 위한 제반 정책을 선제적으로 시행하고 있습니다. 제주 지역 온실가스 배출량을 데이터베이스화하고 산림, 지하수, 해양 생태계의 변화를 모니터링하는 한편 풍력, 태양열, 바이오 에너지 등의 신재생 에너지를 확대하여 화석 에너지 사용을 최소화하는 카본 프리 아일랜드 실현에 박차를 가하고 있습니다. 칭하이 무상사께서는 이러한 국제 컨퍼런스를 통해 전 세계 기후변화 전문가, 정치인, 시민사회단체들과 많은 토론도 하고 활발한 운동도 하고 계신 것으로 알고 있습니다. 기후변화의 영향이 가장 먼저 나타나고 그에 대한 관심도 가장 높은 이곳 제주에서 추진하고 있는 이러한 정책이나 방향에 대해 어떻게 생각하시며 보완하거나 참고할 아이디어가 있으면 말씀해 주시기 바랍니다.
안녕하세요. Assembly member, Ms. O. How are you? Certainly, I will try to comply with your request. If you allow me, there is something important to consider. First of all, I'm glad to hear that Jeju's government leaders, including yourself, are very, very passionate about halting climate change. The autonomy of the Jeju government and the proactive, pioneering spirit of your people is laudable. Perhaps it's because you call yourselves pristine Jeju province, that you put pride and love in your home's natural beauty, so you want to preserve and cherish it more. Jeju is blessed with an abundance of sunshine and wind. So I'm glad you have been expanding your sustainable energies like wind and solar power. This is going in the right direction. Bravo and bravo. And I personally humbly encourage you and your fellow citizens to continue in this way. But if I may point out, if the goal is to be a truly carbon-free society, we should consider all the major sources of greenhouse gases emissions. You see, we are emitting greenhouse gases not just through the fumes from factories, houses, and cars, but also through the products that we choose to consume. Besides, CO2 is cancelled out by aerosols, which are released at the same time from burning fossil fuels. So, it means that even though we have CO2, but the CO2 also have been cancelled out by the aerosols at the same time. Even though aerosols are very detrimental to our health, they actually have a cooling effect that cancels out the CO2 heat in the atmosphere. So, up to now, the climate warming heat is not from CO2. Is not from CO2. The warming climate problem is not from CO2. It's not from carbon dioxide. I repeat, it's not from carbon dioxide. It is from other sources, mainly methane. As I told our student friends earlier, at least 50% of total greenhouse gas emissions are coming from animal meat and dairy products. And it's not I who said this. It's all proven, researched, confirmed, and published by the top scientists of the whole world. You're going to read it soon in October. If we only focus on the green energies, like solar panel, wind power, etc., it won't have much of an effect. I am so sorry to say. I have to tell you the truth because this is also my planet. Your island could be my residence in any time in the future. I might love your island. I might want to go there. So, I want to protect your island. I want to protect my planet. So I have to tell you everything. Although I might offend somebody or I might not be very popular for doing this, but I have to tell you the truth. Because green energies is not an urgent task for us to handle right now. Because green energy only tackle the effect of maybe aerosol or CO2, which is not the urgent issue of global warming, the producer. The global warming effect comes from rising livestock, from animals. So if we continue on the green energy, then we don't have much an effect to stop global warming because the effectiveness will be cancelled out by the large amounts of greenhouse gases that we generate by consuming meat and the meat industry. Besides the livestock methane, that is responsible for the portion of the 50% of greenhouse gas emissions. But 50% is still a low estimate. I would say 80%. There is also the burning of forests to make pasture land to grow food for the animals, and making the chemical fertilizer and pollution to grow the feed, the transportation involved, the constant refrigeration involved, etc., etc. And all the medical effect or the cause of the sickness of the people. Billions, trillions of dollars goes into the treatment of the people for meat-related disease. And it's not always even effective. It's not always even cure people permanently or perfectly even. Even we spend so much money and people have to go so much suffering, the disease are not always completely cured. In many cases, not at all. So people suffer, people die for nothing also because of meat diet. So to produce the meat for consumption, it costs us too much. It costs sorrow, it costs suffering, it costs trillions of dollars. All these add up to many more times greenhouse gas emissions than all the world's transportation combined. and apparently more than all the heavy industries and fossil fuel power stations combined even. Please refer to www.suprememastertv.com for more detailed reports on this and many other concerned matters. So in order to call ourselves a low carbon or carbon-free society, we must eliminate our meat consumption because that is the number one cause. We could say that is the only cause for our climate change. That is our meat consumption. This is in line with the recommendation of the world's leading climate experts, like Chair of the IPCC, Dr. Pachauri, who is a vegetarian himself for the environment's sake. In fact, if we focus on shifting people to be vegetarian or vegan, it will save us much more money than green technology, and of course, it's much more effective. And I urge you, the government leaders, because our time is running out, we have to act on this now. Please explain to your co-citizens this important truth and tell them we must work together to become animal-free consumers. We have a very short time to save our planet. We have a great planet to save. We have great precious treasure that is our children to save. And besides, the government and the people have nothing to lose by being vegan. For the environment, the absence of livestock will bring about much less pollution and less waste of water and food resources. For the citizens, there are perfect, nutritious, delicious alternatives to animal products nowadays. And as we heard in the doctor's lectures, the vegan diet is also the best for our children. It's a win-win solution as stated by Dr. Pachauri, and necessary to save the planet. Please, I ask Jeju, don't just be a model province, but be a one true, heroic, courageous model for the whole world. We need Jeju's support. 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Supreme Master Ching Hai. Thank you for showing Jeju and all of us how to head in the right direction to halt climate change.
Our next question is from Dr. Bu Sang-il, the chairman of Jeju Provincial Party of Grand National Party and vice chairman of UNESCO Korea Jeju Association. His question goes to both Dr. Gregor and Dr. Bernard. Dr. Bu, please share your question.
Thank you. Jeju Island is a famous sightseeing place of the world, especially East Asia. So many people come here. Jeju Island has a weak point to protect contagious disease like H1N1 influenza. We know so many ways to protect H1N1 influenza, such as masking the mouth and washing hands, vaccinating. But I want to know, is this a useful way to protect the H1N1 influenza? And what is the useful ways to protect H1N1 influenza?
Thank you, Dr. Bu, for your very urgent and timely question. Dr. Michael Greger, who gave the lecture on swine flu earlier, has kindly answered your question via video. Let's watch it.
Sounds like a beautiful place, and I'd love to visit one of these days. What can we do to protect ourselves from swine flu? Well, should you fall ill, contact your healthcare provider to see if antiviral drugs are appropriate, and stay home for at least 24 hours after your fever goes away so that you don't infect others. But the ideal is not to get infected in the first place. And you get the flu two ways: via respiratory droplets by being in a confined space with people coughing and sneezing, and the second way is through touching one's face, one's mucous membranes, eyes, nose, or mouth after touching a contaminated surface. So the first thing we need to do is get into the habit of covering our cough when we cough or sneeze to not infect others. However, we should not cover our cough with our hand because then we contaminate our hand, and then were we to touch a doorknob or a light switch handle or gas pump handle, we would then transfer contamination to that object. Someone else would come along, touch that same doorknob, and then touch their eyes, nose, or mouth and become contaminated as well. So it's important to either wear a mask if you're coughing or sneezing, or cough it to a tissue and throw it away, or cough to our sleeve, cough it to the elbow, cough into fabric so as not to contaminate one's hands. Now that will protect them from you, but how do you protect you from them? Well, we need to wash our hands. People underestimate how much they have to wash their hands. 20 to 30 seconds after soaping up. So a full half minute of hand washing after every time we shake someone's hand or touch a public surface before we touch our face and potentially contaminate ourselves. An even better option, if you aren't able to wash your hands so often, are these alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Very cheap to get, and they're actually better than hand washing according to the World Health Organization in terms of sterilizing one's hands from these kind of so-called enveloped viruses like influenza. So when you're out in public, before touching one's face, it's important to sanitize, either to wash your hands or carry a little bottle of this alcohol-based hand sanitizer around with you.
Dr. Vu, in addition to Dr. Greger's response, Dr. Bernard has also answered your question.
And the question is from Mr. Choi Chil-sung, the Executive Chairperson of Jeju Coalition for Environment-Friendly Domestic Agricultural Products, Go Meals.
제주는 주민 발의로 친환경 급식 조례가 제정되고 한국에서 가장 먼저 친환경 급식이 도입되어서 전국적인 그 친환경 급식이 모델이 되고 있습니다. 또한 2010년에는 도내 모든 학교, 모든 아이들에게 친환경 급식을 제공하게 됩니다. 유기농 친환경 식품이 안전하고 건강한 식단이라는 것은 설득하고 공감대를 형성하기가 쉬운 데 비해서 채식 급식의 필요성에 대해서 학부모들을 설득하고 공감대를 형성시키기란 쉽지 않으리라 여겨집니다. 채식 급식의 필요성에 대한 고견을 듣고 싶습니다.
Thank you for your helpful question. Dr. Hwang Sung-soo, would you like to answer this?
네, 제주도는 다른 지역에 비해서 학생들의 건강을 위해서 친환경 농산물을 학교 급식 식재료로 쓴다는 것이 다른 지역에 비해서 이제 많이 앞서가는 것 같고, 그렇게 해서 박수를 보낼 만한 일이다 하는 생각이 들고, 전국에서 그런 어떤 모범을 따라야 되지 않겠는가 하는 생각을 가집니다. 그런데 이 친환경 이 농산물에 육류 혹은 생선, 계란, 우유를 포함을 시키는 경우도 있고 또 그렇지 않은 경우도 있는 것 같습니다. 사람들은 고기, 생선, 계란, 우유를 전혀 먹지 않으면 문제가 생긴다는 아주 강박관념을 갖고 있습니다. 그건 이 전문가들도 마찬가지고요. 학부모들은 다 학교에서 학생 시절에 교육을 그렇게 이제 받아와서 또 결혼을 하고 어른이 되어서 또 이제 자녀들을 기르고 그렇게 하니까 당연히 그런 생각을 가질 거라는 생각을 가집니다. 사람을 변화시키는 데는 교육이 굉장히 중요하다는 생각을 가집니다. 그래서 학부모들을 대상으로 꾸준하게 교육을 시켜야 된다는 생각을 가지고요. 뿐만 아니라 미리 눈을 뜬 학부모들을 혹은 학생들을 위해서 선택해서 이 학교 급식을 할 수 있도록 어떤 그런 배려를 할 필요가 있다는 생각을 가집니다. 그러니까 고기, 생선, 계란, 우유를 먹지 않는 학생들도 학교에서 맛있게 점심을 먹을 수 있도록 채식 반찬을 충분하게 제공을 해야 된다는 생각을 가지고요. 더 적극적으로 한다면은 어떤 유인책을 쓰는 것이 좋겠다는 생각을 가집니다. 그러니까 고기, 생선, 계란, 우유를 먹지 않는 학생들에게는 식비를 조금 좀 보조를 해준다든지 뭐 그런 이 방법이 있을 거라는 생각이 들고요. 고기, 생선, 계란, 우유가 해롭다는 생각을 가질 때까지는 많은 시간이 걸릴 것이라는 생각을 가집니다. 저는 저 가족들을 변화시키는데 한 7년 정도 걸리는 것 같습니다. 예, 그러니까 그 결코 쉬운 일이 아니라고 생각이 들고요. 자신이 아프면은 사람들의 생각이 조금 빨리 바뀌는 것 같습니다. 그러나 학생들이 그렇게 뭐 아프기를 바랄 수도 없고 또 학생들은 그 시기에 병이 그렇게 많아지는 것도 아니고 해서 쉽지는 않은 문제입니다만은 인내심을 가지고 꾸준하게 교육을 하면서 그런 변화가 되도록 이제 정책적으로 좀 유인책을 쓰는 뭐 그 이외의 방법이 별로 있겠는가 하는 그런 생각을 가져봅니다.
And Master, actually, we have a very beautiful student that's going to ask a question, and I hope you can see how beautifully she's dressed here. It's Kung Yun Chong. She's one of the readers of your books here in Jeju. She has a very sweet and touching question for you, Supreme Master Ching Hai.
I have noticed her since beginning.
Isn't she beautiful?
Very beautiful and lovely dress.
안녕하세요. 저는 초등학교 6학년이에요. 작년 말에 류마티스 관절염이란 난치병이 생겨서 참 많이 고생했는데 채식과 명상으로 지금은 많이 치유됐어요. 채식과 명상이 병을 치유하는 데 큰 힘이 된다는 것도 깨달았고요. 저는 아이들이나 어른들이나 다른 동물들이나 모두 똑같은 영혼을 가지고 있다고 생각해요. 그래서 나이나 종이 다른 동물이라고 함부로 대해서는 안 된다고 생각해요. 똑같은 영혼과 생명을 가지고 있으니 위아래가 없고 잘나고 못나고가 없다고 생각하거든요. 제가 선생님의 책을 읽으면서 가장 인상적이었던 부분은 선생님이 새나 개와 함께 단체 명상을 한다는 부분이었어요. 선생님께서는 새나 개와 함께 명상을 하신다고 하셨는데 그것은 동물들도 우리와 같은 영혼을 가지고 있다는 얘기로 들려요. 그렇다면 선생님께서는 정말로 인간이나 새나 개나 모두 똑같다고 생각하시는 건가요? 새나 개들이 정말로 명상을 하는 건지 아니면 그냥 잠을 자는 건지 책을 보면서 많이 궁금했어요. 새나 개들이 어떻게 명상을 해야 하면서 애당초 믿지 않는 사람들도 있을 수 있겠지만 그래도 그 새나 개들은 진짜로 명상하고 있는 걸 수도 있잖아요. 새라고 개라고 명상하지 말란 법은 없으니까요. 그렇다면 선생님과 함께 사는 새들과 개들은 정말로 명상을 하는 건가요? 아니면 그냥 눈을 감은 채 누워있는 건가요? 선생님의 책을 읽으면서 많이 궁금했어요.
Yeah, 안녕하세요. 지연지영. First, I'm so happy that you don't suffer any pain anymore. It's terrible for a person of your tender age to have to suffer any pain at all. It is avoidable through a vegan diet, as you have experienced. And I'm glad that you are a vegetarian. And not only that, your philosophy about the souls in people and animals is beautiful and absolutely correct. The animals are truly just like us. They just come from different sizes and apparel. You know, just like in your garden, you have different flowers. You have roses, you have chrysanthemum, you have maybe lotus, and other beautiful flowers. But they are all flowers. Yes, different size, different color, different shapes. So in the sentient world of ours, we have humans, we have animals, yes, we have birds, we have fish, we have insects. It's like that. We are in different shapes, different colors, but we are the same. Just like we have different flowers, they are all flowers, right? See, so the animals all have the same feelings like we do. Like they have love, they have sorrow, they have forgiveness, they have fear, loyalty, filial love, and parental love, etc. I myself witnessed them. And to answer your question about my birds and my dogs, whether they do meditate, yes, they do. They meditate and go sometimes into a very deep level of contemplation. So they are not just laying there with closed eyes. In meditation, they just relax and feel nice and calm, and they contact their God nature inside. Actually, many of the animals, including those in the wild, know how to meditate and contact the divine. They are really in tune within their souls, more than many of us humans even. They have the same godly spirit that dwells within you and within me. If we knew just how noble and loving and great the animals are, we would be in awe and respect and love them much more. If everyone in the world understood this like you do, our world would truly be at peace like heaven. You are a beautiful soul. Yeonjeong, I hope you will continue to be vegan, to continue being healthy, and I hope you will share this positive experience with others around you, to help them also to stay healthy and intelligent. You are a living proof of how beneficial a veg diet is, because the compassionate lifestyle heals our body and heals our mind. It's the best for our lasting well-being. I wish you heaven blessing. God bless your loving heart and bless your family and your country, the beautiful Korea. 감사합니다.
Thank you. That was an absolutely charming question with an absolutely lovely answer.
Yes, and aside from all the talks about climate change or health aspects, if we truly realize the noble qualities of animals, I believe people will switch to a vegan diet.